So right here we have the UCS Razor Crest. This is not a new set by any means. It's been out for quite a while now, and honestly, if you ask me, a little late. Spoiler alert for any of you who haven't seen the show, but the Razor Crest itself hasn't been a thing since the middle of season 2. Now it's obviously Mando's N1, but this is the $630 Ultimate Collector's Series set. Now, thanks to LEGO, I was actually able to get this guy built and in hand for review, and I gotta say, I'm in love with this model. This is easily one of my top 5 sets of all time. I think that's just simply because of the detail, the scale, the feasibility of this entire set's pretty extraordinary, if you ask me. So today I want to take a quick look at the set, the minifigs, everything this thing has to offer. I'm not going to go in too crazy because I feel like for most UCS sets, it's kind of like a what you see is what you get type thing. Obviously, there are more in-depth reviews going over techniques and small things like that, but I like to style my reviews just from what you see. What you see here is exactly what you get. Before we get into the build, we'll talk first about the minifigures. So of course you have the plaque right here in the middle that has all of the information about the Razor Crest, and then going from left to right you have the new Mando in the original style printing with the arm printing. You also have Baby Yoda or Grogu in his little carrier. Then you have the Mythrol, the Blurg, and Queel. Now I think my favorite minifigure, and this is probably going to be Queel or the Mando. I think both of them are pretty solid. You guys also may know that a lot of UCS minifigs tend to go for money as well, which is kind of crazy. I want to say like Queel is worth at least like 40 or 50 bucks, and of course the new Mando is pretty cool too. I'm a fan of the Beskar Mando just in general, so I'm more inclined to like the other arm printed versions of him, but he looks super good in this one. And if you guys didn't know, all UCS sets that come from Star Wars have this plaque and the minifigs and like a cool little display stand over here. So those are the minifigs and other cool things like that, but obviously I want to get into the Razor Crest here. This thing's massive. It's heavy. You can definitely hold it. It's pretty safe and sturdy to hold, but I think one of the most important things about this set is that a lot of the pieces don't really interlock. And what I mean by that is, for example, the cockpit here, there's nothing holding it in. You're basically using the jumpers on either side and kind of letting gravity do the rest. The pieces kind of groove in together, and that's kind of how a lot of this set is, especially like the middle compartment here. A lot of the stuff on the top especially, some of these panels are kind of just lift up and replace, and they kind of fit perfectly into little grooves. Now, of course, like on the side of the Razor Crest here, you'll see different panels. Those are, of course, locked in by ball joints, Technic pieces, all that kind of stuff. But overall, the detail is incredible. There are a lot of stickers on this set, but I think they work pretty well. I think the gray background of the sticker is slightly off, but it still looks really, really good. I think one of my favorite areas to view of the Razor Crest is like the front neck area, if you will. On the sides, you can see here all the different angles using sandwich tiles, wedge plates, all these great pieces, including some yellow tile to kind of mix up that color. And it looks really, really good. Now, what actually took the longest to build out of this whole entire set were the engines. These things are beefy. I'd say like there are at least a third of the bags in the Razor Crest are dedicated to both engines here and like the middle spine piece, which is kind of crazy. They're hyper detailed. There's even tread pieces wrapping around the front and the back of the engines. There's some pieces on hinges with the 1x4 tiles to simulate the back end of the engine. There's just so much detail in this, but I think where this set mostly shines is the interior. Now, there is a pretty much full-scaled interior in the middle here. You can access that by, of course, removing the cockpit piece. And then it is kind of tricky, and just obviously be careful, but you basically lift up either engine side here. That whole part comes across, and then you can obviously see all the different pieces inside. Most notably, one of the coolest parts for me personally is the inside. There are the kryptonite areas where obviously this is a bounty hunter ship. Mando is technically a bounty hunter, so you have different stickered like carbonite pieces which are in the series, which is super cool. And then there's also a pretty detailed cockpit here. You have like a whole control panel interface area with a bunch of printed pieces. There's control panels, there's obviously chairs, there's the cockpit chair, the little ball, of course, that we know from the show. And then the section behind here just has like more room, more things to do. So there's a pretty elaborate interior in this thing, and I'm sure there are better ways to see it. In fact, I'd probably just suggest you go to the LEGO website and take a look at the interior because it's kind of hard to capture on camera. But yeah, there's a lot to be excited about in this Razor Crest. It's huge, it's massive. I think for $630, honestly, this is pretty worth it. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on the Razor Crest. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you drop a like down below and subscribe. Once again, a huge thanks to LEGO for sending over the set for us to take a look at today. This is definitely making a great addition to my UCS collection here, along with my AT-AT and a bunch of other fun stuff. I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna put this. But thanks guys for watching. I'll see you later. Take it easy. Peace.